Welcome to my garden here in Central Virginia. I feel like today is a little bit of the aftermath of the storm, which it is. And I came out to do some work in the garden and pick some of those volunteer potato plants to clear out that bed over there. Feeling good. I thought, well, instead of getting depressed about all that hailstorm damage, I'm going to do something positive. I've got a whole bunch of potatoes that I picked that I wasn't expecting to pick. And I'm going to dig some onions, which is what I'm about to do. And then I got ambitious because in between that, I said, well, I think I'll go and turn the compost heap because I really want that compost to heat up. Halfway down through the compost heap, digging away, and suddenly I got attacked by yellow jackets. And I'm sitting here today, right now, doing this to try to divert my attention from these bee stings. I don't think I'm allergic to bees. Took a Benadryl, iced it all down, and now I'm just trying to divert my attention to something more productive. So, with that said, I am going to pull up these onions. These onions were just a few that I planted alongside the potatoes that were right there where the hay is. I'm going to be planting up this bed in some beans here momentarily, some lima beans, I believe. And I want to get these onions out of here, plus they're ready. You can tell that they are ready because when they're ready to harvest, first of all, they bulb up. Secondly, they flop over. So I'm just going to grab this, pull it out. You can use this onion today, or you can dry them out for harvesting. Let's see what we get. That's a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. That one's kind of an interesting split. A clove and a clove, like a garlic almost. There we go. This is a very easy thing to do. I planted these onions from basically bare roots. They had been started and then they were kind of dried out, and I got the starts at at Boonesboro Hardware in Lynchburg. And I have had much better success growing my onions in this way rather than trying to get those little onion sets. The onion sets, it's really, for me, it's hit or miss. They tend to go to flower or begin to get escape on them, and then they don't bulb up properly. So whenever possible, I'm going to try to do it this way. I still have not had success yet in growing from seed. I'm going to try that next year. There's another. Oh, I see a nice little bee. As I said, I feel like it's the time of plagues and locusts with that hailstorm, 45-minute hailstorm yesterday that did some damage in my garden. I am still learning a lot about growing onions, but I do know that onions mature based on the amount of sunlight hours they get. And so there's something called long day onions in places up north where they have longer hours of daylight. There are short day onions, which grow more down in the south, closer to the equator, where there's not as much variation in the day length. And we're kind of in the intermediate zone. These I noticed last year and this year are ready to harvest just right after the solstice, which is right where we are. I'm going to go to the other part of my garden outside. This is my other little onion patch growing right outside the south side of the fence. And these are definitely ready to harvest. Originally, I had planted some leeks in here, but I didn't have much luck with those growing. Maybe I've got a couple growing here and there. Ooh, these are nice size. Look at those. Woo-wee. A little bit mushy on that one. I think maybe it's a little over the hill. That's an onion fly. Right on those onions. How do you like that? I have been dealing with onion fly maggots this year. Not happy about that. And they got a bunch of my walking onions. These are the Egyptian walking onions. See, this one's been destroyed by the onion fly maggot. This is the hail damage on the walking onions. Split the whole thing right open. About that. Ooh, look at the size of that onion. Yay, that makes me happy. It's good to be happy. Up there are leeks and a weed. While I'm at it, pull that weed out. These are volunteer tomatoes, which I'm just going to leave in here. The Egyptian walking onions have such an interesting growth habit. This was a cluster that I had planted in the last fall, and it sprouted 1, 2, 3, 4 sprouts. Each one comes up, and you can see that they have these bulbils here. If I leave these here, they can plant themselves. And you can see how that happens as they fall right over. I might end up actually harvesting these ones and just throwing them in something tonight, because I don't think that this plant, I think it's sustained so much damage. I'm not sure it can continue. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pick these, and we'll throw them in something tonight. So here are the volunteer potatoes that I got. These were ones that were left in the ground, actually. I think originally planted 2 years ago, and then they came up some last year, and I guess I just didn't get them all. So they are mainly King Harry. The white ones are King Harry, and the red ones are, what are they? Red Norlands. And then, of course, those are my red onions back there. I'm just going to leave them on this rack for a little while to kind of air out today before I take them in. And what I'm going to do with these onions, I'm just going to gather them up in bunches like I did the garlic. And I'm going to put a string around about here, and I'm just going to hang them in a place that doesn't get direct sunlight but gets good ventilation. And they'll dry out and develop their hard skins. But you can use them right away. Thanks for watching today. I hope your garden's growing well. Take care. Bye.